Good evening, CRJ 306. My name is Matthew Tedinko, and today I'm presenting the PACE Center for Girls. And Jack, that started off and is still currently serving in the Florida jurisdiction. The reason about presenting female delinquency is important to me, especially when it comes to the realm of minority offenders, is the fact that I'm a minority myself, but I was also raised in a single mother household with a little sister, all of us being ethnically minority, and seeing the different ways my mother and sister were treated. My mother with different employment opportunities where she worked all the time and, provided for my sister and I, yet was always denied ways to be promoted more than after showing results of better work than her male counterparts. I also, want to make sure, hey, if my sister ever had some trouble, how can I help her, and what resources are available out there for her, along with any other females that may be going through some stuff. I have also worked with minority youth before, serving 5 Glendale Union High School District schools to, help them prepare for college, and seeing how that works, and seeing how, fostering that environment of love, care, understanding, while also letting them be in the driver's seat to change their actions, promote their attitudes, to be better of their social surrounding, to help them move into a more positive direction. Now, this PACE Center for Girls started off in 1995 in Jacksonville, Florida, as a rehabilitative alternative to incarceration for girls ages 11 through 18 that have also been subject to criminal sanctions as well. Now, PACE's mission is designed to help females by providing these females and women with an opportunity for a better future through education, counseling, victim advocacy, and training in many aspects. Now, the values that fall in line with PACE is ensuring that every girl believes that one of them finds their voice, figures out what it is they want to do with their life, figure out what it is that they want to do to improve their behavior, improve their attitudes, as well as, get out of the life of crime. They also value themselves in helping these girls achieve their potential by providing supportive resources, and resources that are really going to help them change, not just, talking the talk, but walking the walk as well, and, helping them catalyze their success as young women heading into their adulthood. Now, they also want to help them celebrate a life defined by responsibility as women, dignity in being a woman, serenity and grace, and fostering that environment themselves when faced with challenges such as being victimized. Now, in our textbook with Walker et al. In 2018, they go on to say that African American females do suffer greater odds of being victimized by non-familial people than Hispanics and whites. However, both African American females and Hispanic females were victimized more than whites by strangers as well. Now, the girls at PACE are referred to as girls with promise, and these girls with promise are served with resources such as high school level classes, helping them, be in an environment where they're learning together with one another, and foster, a learning environment where, hey, we're in this together. Now let's hold each other accountable to high academic standards to really help them achieve that, with resources such as tutoring, and counseling and therapists that provide academic, personal, emotional, and professional support. There's also college prep and, applying for the FAFSA, and then creating college letters of when you're applying for scholarships and stuff like that, as well as figuring out what they want to study, where they want to study, and gaining those scholarships. There's also extracurricular activities involved with PACE, such as cooking, gardening, grooming, and a few sports programs as well. And there's also an ability for parents to visit with the students who are in PACE. So that way they can maintain that contact with family from a distance, while also being in an environment that can really very much help them. Now, this creates a peer mentor network and allowing the students to feel understanding of one another and being in rooms with each other where things like this have happened to other people. They've been outcasted by society sexually or victimized, or not given the same opportunities as males, and also punished for the ways in which they've engaged in delinquent behavior. Now, many of the donors that have helped fund the PACE Center include Florida's Juvenile Justice Department, Dove, YMCA, ABC, the Jacksonville Jaguars football team, as well as, I believe, the Bank of America Foundation. Now, some positives of this program, well, this program mostly has positive results, is that 9,700 of these females were placed in the Florida Juvenile, 9,700 young females were placed in Florida's juvenile justice system, making up 30% of the total juvenile population. And when it costs $329 to incarcerate these females with a chance of recidivism being at 45%, it only costs $115 per girl each day, compared to the $329 each day in state incarceration. But yes, $115 per girl to be enrolled with PACE with the recidivism rate of 5%. The recidivism rate drops, along with the price, which saves taxpayers of Florida a lot of money when dealing with these and handling these female juvenile delinquents that mostly are constructed of, minority youth, and create a more positive experience than being thrown behind some bars and being labeled and stigmatized criminal, which has a lot of implications physically and mentally, which is a topic for another discussion. In 2017, PACE served 117 females. Now, 65% of them were failing one or more class prior to PACE enrollment, with 24% of them having prior criminal juvenile records. Now, upon PACE completion, 100% of them enrolled had no involvement with the criminal justice system after completing the program, and 77% of them continued school, went on to college, or were employed after completion. Now, 88% of them also improved academically. Now, there are a lot of positives to bring in here. However, there is two recommendations. One, more of a personal, recommendation, is that allocate for funding to implement this PACE program nationwide. Bring it to states, especially near the border, just like Florida. I'm sorry, not like Florida, but along the border where there's a huge population of minority youth and minority females who are sanctioned to harsh criminal sanctions. And, I think states like Arizona could really benefit from a support system like this that PACE has started. But the academically supported recommendation that I would have is implement police to come into the PACE program centers and have workshops with these students and these females. Now, I know that this program is made up of just females. However, a study done by Jody Miller in 1966 showed that women in these neighborhoods that are male-dominated are sexually victimized or victimized by men in their community, by men at school, where it's seen as normal. And it's not normal whatsoever. So I think by creating this environment where the police get to learn what it is that they went through, how to give back to the community by partnering up with these teachers, these counselors, staff, and the females themselves, to go into the community and hold events for other females of the communities that they're from to see what else is going on behind the curtains that for the girls that aren't being served by PACE, as well as creating an environment for those girls who aren't involved and enrolled in PACE, to feel like more included and know where they could go for help or resources as well. Now, a study done by Professor Adam Fine here at Arizona State University, looks into the public perceptions of law enforcement, quoting him saying that it's integral to the capacity of police to combat crime and encourage citizens to cooperate with law enforcement. And as public perceptions of law enforcement rise, the amount of crime drops, and the more willing people are able to trust these officials and report crime as well. Now, what the study did was analyze 6 schools over 6 weeks. The first week, they were surveyed, and enforcement officers came in to ask the kids what kind of things are going on in their community that they could, help with. Now, from weeks 3 to 4, there was a food drive, a clothing drive, and then on the 3rd week, there was a fair, a low-budget fair that was held between the children of the school, staff, and the police in a non-enforcement environment to really, connect with the outside community, selling tickets, raising money. And then all the money that was raised in that fair was given to a foundation that could help the community in a positive way. And at the 6th week post-survey time frame, perceptions were definitely increased of police, and relations were healed, and that's something that I think could be thrown into the mix with what they provide the girls over at PACE. So that way, that's one other solidifying factor in helping them stay out of recidivizing. So I thank you guys again for listening to my presentation today. Happy Veterans Weekend. Happy Veterans Day tomorrow on Monday. Enjoy your long weekend, and thank you so much.